The following Defending Our America episode is presented without commercial interruption by Sig Sauer.
The first time I was in Iraq was when they had their very first free election. Musab al-Zarqawi was running around at the time, and he and his group threatened, anybody that went out to vote with, not just them, but they were going to murder their whole family on that, just merely for voting. And it was amazing to me to see the enthusiasm that, there were people running around with their little purple finger that showed that they voted because they were so excited about the prospect of voting. They had never had that chance before.
I do believe that citizen apathy is one of the greatest threats to America because people are just, they're not involved, or they just don't think that they matter.
When people see what goes on in Washington, it's almost that they feel like there's nothing they can do about it. That's not true. We do have control.
The first and most important freedom is to be able to elect our representatives. If you're not willing to do that, it's not even one day a year, then how much do you care about the country? Because you're leaving it to others to make decisions for you.
I have a 21-year-old daughter who just registered at 21 to vote. And I had been on her for a couple of years as to registering and why she should. And finally, it took a discussion about family heritage, her grandmother being in World War II, women not having the right to vote, and explaining to her, guys are dying for you to be able to go check that box. You got to understand that.
These soldiers were much like soldiers that died in Iraq, soldiers that died in Normandy, and have died in all the wars that America has fought in. They literally volunteered, put their lives on the line for the people of the country. And our ability to live free now rests solely on the backs of those soldiers and these soldiers.
Once a week, I believe it was on a Friday, during the briefing for General Petraeus and Odierno, they would have what they called a hero's tribute during the briefing that was done by the Corps chaplain. And he would throw a slide with the photograph of a soldier, sailor, airman, Marine, or whatever, who in the preceding weeks had been killed in the line of duty. And the chaplain apparently had contacted that soldier's family in the interim, and he had found out bits of information about his life, thoughts from the high school coach or from the scout leader or the family member. And he would share that with the people, with the generals and with the people who are watching the briefing, getting beyond his death, recognizing their life, that they were a human being. They were somebody other than this guy wearing a uniform.
In the last 3 months, I've had three police officers from our department, just one recently retired and two still active, die on the job. And then recently we just had one of my students from the police academy just killed from gang violence. And I have to stand here and I have to think about what it's really all about. I have to wonder what's important enough for us to serve a community and then die at the end, or in Detective Santiago's case, die at the beginning. Freedom comes with a cost. It might not be your cost, but it's definitely someone else's cost. Society is really going to have to check itself and understand what they believe freedom is all about. If you're not fighting for it, understand there's other people out there protecting your freedoms.
Not only are you exercising your right as a U.S. citizen, but you're honoring the people that have come before you. You're honoring the fact that somebody went and died so that you have the ability to walk into a poll of your own free will and make a choice of where you want our country to go for the generations ahead of you. Look at how many flags there are. Look at how many people have laid down their lives for your way of life.
You know, imagine if you had to sit in front of them and say, yeah, I'm not going to do it. I'm too tired. The lines are long. Like at the voting booth, really? That guy died somewhere for you to do that.
American citizens, as hopefully as they're watching this, they're thinking, what have I done to deserve these rights? What you've done to deserve these rights is hopefully you're voting. Step up and put pen to paper voicing your opinion, because if you don't do it, you're not honoring these guys and girls. You're not supporting what those have done for this country. And maybe you didn't go in the military. Maybe you're a school teacher or a doctor or a firefighter or law enforcement. You're still serving that sacrifice and still putting yourself out there to better this country. And these people behind me in these tombstones, they're lined as far as you can see. They did that so that we can live free.
Next time on Defending Our America.
I don't separate him from violence. I don't separate him from life and death. They understand that everyone dies. They understand that they will die. They understand that I will die. And they get very serious when I talk about that. But I don't stop talking about it just because it makes them feel uncomfortable.